And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com. Visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Get down to Dayton, Kentucky. Pick yourself up some Galactic Fried Chicken. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15%. Or you can order it to your house through the app, and Uber Eats will bring it right to you. Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Chad.
How you doing, buddy?
I don't want to talk about it.
Are you having a bad day? I'm kidding. I know you're having a bad day. But here's good news. Here's good news. The people's favorite segment of the week now happens on Sunday nights with the American Athletic Conference recap.
Sure.
So you get to cheer yourself up.
Sure, that's their
talking
favorite.
Some AAC football.
That's their favorite. Sure.
I mean, I've had 5 or 6 people mention to me this week how much they really now look forward to Sunday nights.
I see the live numbers. I can tell you what are the favorite. I even see the video numbers. I can tell you what the favorite segments are and what they are.
I mean, I'll tell you, last Sunday did pretty good. And I can look it up if you want me to. I think we were over 500, which is a pretty solid content night. Would you not agree?
Yes, I would agree. We can talk about whatever you want. I'm over today.
Well, I mean, we're just going to talk about the American Athletic Conference, Aaron.
That's fine. Everything's fine.
Well, this is your show, so I'll let you. I'll let you.
I hate Zach Taylor.
That's aggressive.
Sure. Stop calling offensive plays. You weren't good at it at Cincinnati the first time around. You aren't good at it at Cincinnati the second time around. They made the Super Bowl to spite you, Zach Taylor. I hate Zach Taylor.
All right. Do you feel better now?
I'm done with that. Just needed to get that out there.
I like Zach Taylor. He's a nice guy. He's always been very good to me.
Okay.
Are you gonna do the AAC recap, or are you just gonna sulk?
All right. Well, before we get into any of the games, I thought I'd bring this up. AP and coaches polls came out.
Yep.
The noteworthy teams that I wrote down: Arkansas at 10 in both polls, the AP and the coaches. Cincinnati at 31 in both polls.
They fell.
They did. Even only having one loss. There are
winning by 21 points. They dropped.
And there are only losses to a top 10 team. There are currently 9 teams in the top 25 that have one loss. And I can guarantee you not all of those 9 teams have lost to a top 10 team. But
you know who wasn't penalized for a very similar game against Miami? Kentucky.
Sure.
There's a 24-point Kentucky win?
They're SEC. Why would they be penalized for that?
I know. It is annoying. Look, I don't care.
They play football different in the SEC, Chad. They play football different.
It means more, Aaron. It means more.
Okay.
I genuinely don't really
rivalry
care
games should mean more.
Polls, but it is a little funny the treatment Cincinnati's getting coming off the season that they had playing. I had a friend that's a Kentucky fan, my best friend. You've met Al before. I was over at his house tonight, and he was like, Cincinnati was better than Arkansas. He was like, they shot themselves in the foot a couple too many times and couldn't finish the job. But I watched that game fully believing Cincinnati was the better team. And I was like, yeah, they were. But you got to play better to win, as we talked about last night. That's more of my concern with anything right now than where they're at in the polls or the fact that if you look at S&P Plus, Cincinnati now has a 54% chance to win the conference. And I think next is like 14. I think UCF is next at like 14%.
I also thought it was noteworthy that App State is 3 ranks higher than Cincinnati at 28 in both polls. Appalachian State with a loss. Sure. And then
Who'd they lose to?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. I can probably find out real quick. But it also took them a Hail Mary to beat Troy.
Is that one Troy, or is that a team full of guys named Troy?
It was actually a Bradley Pitt-led cast of characters.
Okay.
It wasn't.
Were they in a horse?
No, they rode chariots.
Okay. Yeah.
BYU also 19 in the AP and 23 in the coaches. The only reason I bring that up is they're the only team ranked ahead of Cincinnati right now that would be in line for a New Year's Six outside of Appalachian State, which, come on, what are we doing?
I mean, I don't think that's going to be much of a problem. They lost to North Carolina 63-61.
There it is.
And then they beat Texas A&M. They do have a better win than anything on Cincinnati's resume. I mean, I'm not gonna flip out over Appalachian State. But my point being, Cincinnati they lost by 7 at Arkansas. If Arkansas is top 10, Cincinnati's not third.
If we're over-respecting teams that made the college football playoff last year or how they finished last year.
Well, 3 of them are being over-respected for that. Well, one of them is not.
My point.
This is ultimately, Aaron, let's call it what it is.
This is what happens every year.
No, this is what it is, punishment for making the playoff, for disrupting
breaking the glass ceiling.
Yeah, this is you get back in your place
for being a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah, that's
anyway.
What this is. It's
right.
Okay.
Rutgers beat Temple 16-14. Greg Schiano becomes the winningest coach ever at Rutgers.
Rutgers is the oldest football playing school in the country, right?
79 wins. The winning
I don't
know. I don't know the answer to that, but 79 wins makes him the winningest coach in Rutgers history.
Luke Fickell got to 50
yesterday. He did. But Temple drops to 1-2. Temple's bad.
I mean, they almost beat Rutgers.
With 274 yards of offense, they almost beat Rutgers.
They're not good. I'm being facetious.
49 yards on 30 rushing attempts.
I wonder how many of that was sack related and how many
1.6 yards per carry.
I hate that college counts sacks against rushing. Like that should in the year of 2022, how is there not just a separate entity for sacks and yards lost?
I kind of understand how they do it because when you're running option plays, and this is where I think it goes back to where the option was before everyone was running.
That should be, you should easily be able to differentiate if a guy is running,
if
a guy is throwing a pass and gets sacked.
You should be, but in any case, that's really all I have on the Temple game.
I'm not trying to distract from.
That's fine. Temple again 1-2. Tulane improves to 3-0 with the 17-10 win over Kansas State.
They're getting interesting. Kansas State is supposed to be one of the best teams in the Big 12.
That's what you've said. Michael Pratt, 13 of 26. Not great on the stat sheet there. 176 yards, 1 touchdown, 13 carries, 87 yards. So he ends up with about 250 yards of offense alone. But I mean, they got the job done. They beat Kansas State. If this is one of the best teams in the Big 12, Tulane might have finally figured out how to be a good team in this conference. But they have a gauntlet ahead of them in conference. They have to play, all considering, they have to play Memphis, they have to play UCF, they have to play Cincinnati, they have to play Houston, SMU. They play everybody.
I think I might be more, but we'll get there.
All right. Kansas improves to 3-0 over Houston. Houston's not good. I think we can say Houston at this point is not good.
Maybe Kansas is great.
Maybe. We'll find out this week when they play 3-0 Duke. Who saw that coming? But Houston drops to 1-2.
Are they playing that in Allen Fieldhouse?
who cares?
Or the Dean or Cameron Indoor Stadium.
All 150,000 fans of both teams combined that will watch that game don't know where it's being played. Clayton Tune, though, 22 of 31, 272 yards, 1 touchdown, 16 carries, 63 yards, 1 touchdown.
There was a fight?
Sure.
You didn't know this? You didn't see this?
I didn't watch anything. I was driving.
Well, I mean, you have Twitter. Like, there was an actual, kerfuffle on the Houston sidelines between 2 Houston players.
Oh, I did see that. When he came back to the sideline.
Like, yeah!
I think the caption on the tweet that I saw was, "This is what Kansas football is doing to people right now," or something along those lines.
This is what happens when your coach lives on Red Bull and vodka. We talk about culture. Red Bull and vodka is Houston's culture.
I mean, I don't know that I've had a Red Bull vodka since I was 25.
Right, and Dana Holgerson lives on them.
It's a weird place to live.
That's how you get to look like Dana Holgerson looks. He's not. How old is Dana Holgerson?
That's a great question.
Talk for a second.
I'll keep going. You come back to that. Campbell gets decimated by ECU 49-10. ECU jumps to 2-1. Holton Ahlers 17 of 20, 263 yards, 3 touchdowns. Keaton Mitchell had 13 carries, 185 yards, and 1
That's touchdown. A lot of carries. There are a lot of yards for 13 carries.
Correct. Ended up being something I want to say it was 14 yards per carry or close to.
I thought you were the math major. Can't you divide 13 into...
I could, but I didn't have it off the rip ready to go.
How old do you think Dana Holgerson is?
14.2. So I was come on now. That was the photographic memory playing. Right
How old do you think Dana Holgerson is?
48.
51. So right in that range. He actually looks pretty good for a guy that lives on Red Bull and vodka.
That Texas sun, man.
Yeah.
Jacksonville State, prime time. Dropped to 3-1.
No, that's Jackson State is prime time.
Well, I was wrong then. My bad. I wondered why it was a red logo when I was doing, and also wondered why his son wasn't anywhere in the stats. I was.
Here's the other thing Here's the other great thing. Jacksonville State, not in Florida.
I did not see that coming.
In Alabama, I believe. Yeah.
Well, Jacksonville State drops to Tulsa 54-17. Davis Brin 27 of 35 for 424 yards, 4 scores. Keelan Stokes, I believe this is his 3rd game with over 100 yards receiving, 9 receptions, 1 touchdown. And Juan Carlos Santana, I think it's his 2nd game of the season with over 100 yards, 3 catches, 137 yards, 1 touchdown. We know Tulsa's going to sling the ball. Whether they do it well or not is another question.
Well, I mean, that's
depending on who they're playing.
Maybe that's their thing now. Like the past couple of years, they've been run because of that big offensive line.
Not anymore.
The offensive line's a little bit different. So if this is their new identity, we'll see.
We won't see after this year.
Ever again.
I can't imagine them being on anywhere near Cincinnati's schedule unless it's in Nippert. The end.
No, I just ever. Like, you never play Tulsa again.
Arkansas State loses to Memphis 44-32. Memphis improves to 2-1. Seth Hennigan finishes 19 of 28, 360 yards, 3 touchdowns. There wasn't anything else that I really got out of this game. It's a lot of points. It's a lot of points for Arkansas.
Arkansas State is?
No.
Look
it Muschamp? Was it Muschamp?
Look it up. Who coaches Arkansas State? I will hold the rope.
Hey Siri, who coaches Arkansas State's football team? Butch Jones. Have you seen that YouTube video about somebody made a song about Butch Jones?
Yeah. Well, from back when he was at Tennessee?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's gonna kick your ass.
Yeah.
So bad.
Yeah.
I didn't know Butch Jones was there. I thought he was still in Alabama's basement running numbers for.
No, they let him out. They let him out. He hired Walt Stewart for like 2 weeks, And then Luke was like,
"See ya."
Come on home, Walt.
USF, a nail biter.
Oh man,
a nail biter to Florida.
Tell me you saw some of this.
I didn't see any of it. I was chatting with you.
So,
you have a TV accessible. But Florida wins 31-28, and USF drops to 1-2. Jerry Bohannon, 12 of 28, 116 yards, 2 picks, 15 carries, 102 yards, and a touchdown with his legs. And Brian Batty, their running back, 17 carries, 150 yards, 1 touchdown.
USF takes the lead in the fourth quarter. Florida comes right back down, goes up 31-28. USF marches down the field, gets in great position for a field goal. The center grounds one to the quarterback on 2nd and 10, becomes 3rd and 20. And then they try like a fifth, like they screw up the clock. Like everything was a disaster.
Well, because
they try like a 50-plus yard field goal to tie and they miss it.
Isn't there a runoff also when you intentional ground? And
No. It wasn't intentional grounding.
Oh.
He snapped the ball like a ground ball.
Oh.
And cost them like 12 yards.
Yikes.
And then the snap on the field goal was bad.
Know what that's
the
about.
holder had the ball almost flat on the ground, and the kicker still kicked it 50 yards and just missed the game-tying field goal.
Wait, so the ball was long ways, and so
it's like it's like a loaf of bread.
Shut up.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
It was the most USFing thing I've ever seen.
That's Heartbreak City.
Yeah. All right.
In the swamp.
Yeah. Oh, they had it would have been the biggest win in program history. Like
in the swamp.
They could have and probably should have
won that game. Like whoever USF's coach is right now, it's just got to be like, I can't imagine going to bed.
Yeah.
He's on the Dana Holgerson diet. Red Bull vodka. SMU played Maryland and lost by a touchdown, 27-34. SMU now 2-1. Tanner Mordecai was 29 of 54 for 369 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Rashee Rice, I believe this is his 3rd straight with over 100 yards. He finishes with 11 receptions, 193 yards. They passed to 11 different receivers. 11.
I think this is just Chad thinks. And they collapsed. They should have won that. They led most of that game. They should have won that game. I think SMU is the biggest threat to beat Cincinnati in American Athletic Conference play.
They clearly they throw the ball a lot. 29 of 54.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I'm not saying they're going to beat Cincinnati. I'm more worried about them than I am UCF after what I've seen through 3 weeks.
Well, as we are, that is a perfect transition into UCF. UCF wins against FAU 40-14, improves to 2-1. John Rice Plumlee, 25 of 36, 339 yards, a touchdown, 20 carries, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was responsible for 460 yards of their 653 yards of offense.
Most of his yards were, and this Cincinnati's going to have to contend with this because it's what they do. They just get the ball into space to speed guys right now.
Their tight end
option, speed, tight ends, like that's
their tight end led all receivers with 115 yards on 3 receptions.
Yeah. So one of them was a catch and run.
That's Alec Holler.
So their defense stinks. Like they played a good second half against FAU. That was a very close game at halftime. UCF's defense was good in the second half.
Did you see the story about John Rice Plumlee and his jersey?
No. He
had apparently requested a medium jersey because he wanted to look big in his jersey, right? Mm-hmm. So I guess in the middle of the game, he's like, I can't move in this thing. It's too tight.
So shit, you idiot.
So they had to get him another jersey.
Did they have to cut it off of him? It would be even better if they had to cut it off.
I don't know that was part of the story that I read. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I don't know. In any case, though, he didn't have a nameplate the rest of the game because he had to wear a bigger jersey and had to wear, I believe, number 10 because I need a jersey to make me look bigger. Maybe just work out more and get bigger.
Maybe be bigger.
I don't know. Just
college kids, man.
Douchey kids are gonna douche, I guess.
Yeah. If your name's John Rice Plumlee,
there is that.
There's a lot of douche in you.
Then the last game, obviously, we all saw yesterday at Paycor Stadium, Cincinnati 38, Miami 17. They improved to 2-1. So the only undefeated team right now in conference is Tulane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about that? They finally figured it out.
Who had that on your Tulane bingo cards? Well, what did I tell?
We've all had it for like 4 years. I feel like that. Tulane.
No, I said, isn't this going to be the year because now nobody is kissing their ass, right?
Maybe.
I said that in the season preview with Dave.
You did. I remember. It was when you were drawing from a hat and weren't part of the the prediction this year.
Right. But that's how it works, right? Like teams like that, when everybody expects a bunch from you, they shit down their leg. And when nobody expects anything, all of a sudden you go win at Kansas State and you're 3-0.
Well,
there we go. I didn't distract you too bad.
No, not yet. Did want to say
no yet. It's the House of the Dragon's about to come on, so
I'm really excited about that. Also wanted to congratulate my sister and brother-in-law. They had my niece this afternoon.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we don't have a name yet, but my sister, I don't believe, has even met her daughter yet. She's been in NICU since birthing. So
I hope she's okay.
Yeah, well, we're waiting. It's just she was a little early. It was a planned C-section, but we're waiting until she gets out of NICU, and she just had some oxygen issues they needed to take care of. So
okay,
they're waiting. They're just waiting to name the baby until they actually meet the baby. So yeah,
people do that
apparently.
Steve. Not for that specific situation, but Steve was the first name that came to my head.
Be a weird name for a girl.
Yeah, well, no, Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks, yeah. I knew you were going there.
But Donna. It looks like a Donna to me.
Did want to congratulate them on that.
I do too. I just think I respect it. I think we probably should have done that. But now that you mention it, but Kelly wanted to have the name beforehand, I think we should have just looked at it and been like, whatever comes out of your mouth.
I mean, my parents didn't have a name for me until I was several hours old.
And they still call you dumbass.
Well, Dad's not here anymore, but yeah, mom sure does.
It's the red foreman in me. I call Kelsey dumbass all the time.
Dad did too.
It's fine. All right. How did you know Kelsey? All right, that's going to do it. It's the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
Sit!